Welcome, another day, another banger. The movie begins with the FBI having a hostage situation with a man who took his kids as hostages. The SWAT team made a forced entry and tried to negotiate with him since they couldn't neutralize him because of the children he took as hostages in a confined space. Things quickly took a sharp turn when they later found out that he rigged himself with a bomb vest and blew himself up. The next scene opens with the introduction of the latest tallest building in the world, called the Skyscraper, with its immense power turbine which powers the building. It is a wonderful architecture to behold, with a sphere placed on the tippy top of the skyscraper. Sawyer lost one of his legs during the FBI raid that went wrong. After recovering, he retired from the FBI and started up his own architecture firm. He was flown into Hong Kong with his family because his FBI buddy Ben pitched him as a safety and security consultant for the upper part of the skyscraper called the Pearl before it was opened to the public. And wow! The Pearl is a true work of technology and a beautiful sight to behold. If you are not scared of heights, it feels like you are in heaven, staring down on earth. Unknowing to Sawyer, he doesn't know the danger that lies ahead of him. Let's keep watching. Ben and Sawyer took a boat to the Pearl Offsite Control Facility, which is a mile away. Sawyer was mugged and his bag containing the tablet that gave him access to the Pearl security system was stolen from him. Fortunately for Sawyer and unfortunately for the thieves, he didn't keep the tablet in his bag. Instead, he kept it in his jacket. Ben was surprised about this new development. Meanwhile, some thugs already broke into the off-site control facility and the suite where Sawyer's wife and children lodged. Ben became frustrated and furious about Sawyer keeping the tab in his jacket and not his bag. Ben felt Sawyer forced his hand and he had to get the tablet the hard way. A brawl ensues between the duo, even though they fought fiercely and dirty, using everything around them. Ben cocked his gun and there was a tussle between them for a while. Eventually, Ben ended up getting shot in the chest. A little while before Ben took his last breath, he revealed to Sawyer that his wife and kids weren't safe at the moment at the Pearl. Sawyer tried to leave immediately to go save his family. He was however caught by the thugs and they tased him, got the tablet from him and used his face to unlock the tablet. He was just a second away from getting shot by the thugs when the police arrived, and a shootout between the thugs and the police gave Sawyer the time to escape once more. Sawyer's wife can be seen taking some fire escape measures like wetting the towel to reduce inhalation of smoke. She is putting up an assurance face to her kids, ensuring them that they will be okay. The perpetrators can be seen gearing up after taking control of the off-site facility and logging Xiao out of the system he built himself, even though he has a lot of trust and confidence in the system worth $6.5 billion. At the same time, Sawyer has been declared wanted by the Hong Kong police. Will he surrender himself to the police, or will he escape to go and save his family? In the 96th floor of a 220 floors high-rise building. Sawyer successfully evaded the police and relentlessly headed to the building, while more than 5 floors had already been engulfed by rapid growing fire. He is seen climbing a crane in a construction site nearby so he can gain direct access to the top of the building. Will he be able to make this jump regardless of the distance between the two buildings? Let's see. Lots of bystanders can be seen watching him, and the news chopper can also be seen flying around him. Everyone is wondering how he is going to make this jump. Standing right on top of the crane, faced with the Hong Kong police who are out to arrest him, he had no other choice than to run in the opposite direction and make the deadly jump to the building already on fire, with everyone now watching him and cheering on, including some of the policemen. Xiao security asked him what could have been the cause of the fire, but Xiao knew already that there is more to it. He suspected Botha, who is the leader of a paid mercenary. He has been paid to retrieve a valuable drive from Xiao. Just as Xiao and his men were about to board their helicopter away from the building, his security noticed the pilot wasn't their pilot, and just then, they were ambushed by Botha and his men. After shooting and killing some of Xiao's security, including his head security, Xiao escaped back to his penthouse and locked himself in. This made Botha furious. Xiao's penthouse has a subroutine system which can be accessed only by Xiao. Just then, Sawyer made it successfully into the building, trying to find his family. He eventually found his wife Sarah and his kid Georgia and Henry, but they have been separated by a broken bridge. He tried to hold one part of the bridge while his wife climbed on a wooden plank to pick their son while their daughter waited for them at the water fountain. Sawyer managed to put his wife and his son in a safety lift that can be operated manually, which will pass through the fire and straight to the first floor. He was on his way to meet his daughter at the water fountain in the building when he ran into Botha, who had already captured his daughter. He gave Sawyer the option to help him open Xiao's penthouse, or else he won't hesitate to drop his daughter off from the pier. Even though Sawyer told him it was impossible to open the penthouse from the outside, Botha believes nothing is impossible with the right motivation. With this, he left Sawyer to his fate to figure out a way. Sawyer was happy to find out that his wife and son landed safely and were out of the building. He now needs to figure out a way to open the penthouse. He discovered the subroutine panel is just right behind the turbine. Sawyer devised a plan on how to access the panel behind the turbine, even though he has to make use of duct tape to stick his hand on the glass panel and a thick rope behind his back. Sawyer eventually got to the panel and was able to unlock the door, but at the risk of him almost getting sliced by the turbine. He eventually got to Xiao in his penthouse and Xiao explained what was really happening. Botha works as an extortionist for 3 powerful crime syndicates, and he approached Xiao to extort from him for his building project. He threatened to cripple Xiao's labor force if he didn't pay him. Unknowing to him, Xiao embedded a tracking malware to all the online transfer he made to Botha, thereby tracking all activities of the account and revealing all the names of the people Botha worked for and who he laundered money for. If Xiao is killed, all the information will be sent to the authorities. So Botha is sent to clean up his mess and retrieve the drive Xiao saved all the evidence in. Xiao decided to team up with Sawyer to deliver the drive and get Sawyer's daughter back, but be sure they have a plan up their sleeves. Sawyer and Xiao engaged with Botha's men in a fight inside the pier, and they were able to disarm them skillfully. It really pays to be an ex-FBI agent. Botha and his men were all killed, and the Chinese thugs who were working with Botha were all apprehended by the police. Sarah was with the Hong Kong police when they apprehended the thugs, and she found the tablet that controls the Skyscraper security system. Sawyer, his daughter and Xiao were almost engulfed by the fire, but Sarah was able to reboot the whole system from the tablet. The security system was able to put out the whole fire within a few seconds. They were all saved by this last-minute reboot, and they were picked up by a chopper. Sawyer asked what Xiao will do next after handing him the drive, and he replied, "Rebuild." Sawyer was later united with his wife and son after they landed, and he received applause, admiration and respect from the bystanders and the Hong Kong police who painted him as the perpetrator earlier. This takes us to the end of the movie. I hope you enjoyed this movie recap. If you do, don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next recap.